Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is another paid request, this time from Mark. And this is a bit of a different one. This one is, he gave me some of the look through and read of his experience with movie theaters throughout the years. And then he wanted to be kind of give my thoughts on each of the films he mentions and any experiences I had. I thought, okay, that's cool to share someone's experiences with that and seem a bit different, so I don't mind that. Thank you, Mark. There is another request he wants me to do as well, a reaction, but I'll do this one first. If anyone wants to request any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough, movie review, re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a CashApp as well. The links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So thank you. So let's get into it. As Mark writes, I will try to keep this as brief yet detailed as I can. The Star Wars prequels and Polar Express. Which, before I go on with his stuff, my experience, Polar Express I never saw in the theater. I saw that way, I think when I was requested it, and thought, it's there. I think all Star Wars prequels I did see in the theater, and The Phantom Menace felt like a big deal. It was a fun theatrical experience. People were into it. And I don't hate The Phantom Menace. I don't. It has its issues. But honestly, compared to Disney Star Wars, I would rather watch The Phantom Menace any day and twice on Tuesday. At least it's got Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Darth Maul, and some cool lightsaber fights. Attack of the Clones I never liked, and Revenge of the Sith was fine in the theater. When I watch, I'm like, I don't. I think it's just the story. Turn into Darth Vader. It was never a story I really cared to see. But anyway, get into his. This was his. Okay, this is how he puts it, Mark. This was my first theatrical experience. I was 6 years old in 1999. Really, 6 years old? God damn, I'm old. Because in 1999, I was 16. So I'm 10 years older than him, if that's the case. Shit. Yeah, because that means he was born in 1993. He was 6. So I was born in 83. So damn. I wanted to put in perspective that I wasn't allowed to use the internet at such a young age. To my fading memories, I don't even think I had internet at all in my house at this time. Neither did I. I didn't have internet probably till after like 2000, 2001 is when I first had internet. So you're not alone. The time I had to occupy as a toddler was experiencing my time outdoors with my neighbors, playing Nintendo 64, watching bootleg VHS tapes. My family started out, never had much money. I had an uncle that would make VHS tapes for me all the time, so when I had the special editions of the Star Wars trilogy given to me, I quickly grew obsessed. It was as if Star Wars became my world immediately. Sally's Star Wars turned to shit like everything else. For me, I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, and I state that because we only had 4 channels. 2 of them were the same CBS, ABC, and PBS. We would rent stuff, but then we would have 2 VCRs, and we would tape them. So then we would have like 3, maybe 4, but usually 3 movies per tape. So that when we returned the VHS tape, we never have to rent it again. So it's like renting it to own it. Never sold it, but just to keep it for ourselves. Like 3 per each blank tape. That's how the movie collection was back in the day. All those tapes are long gone, though. Or my aunt would send us tapes of stuff because she would have like more channels. So stuff from Fox, like X-Files or Simpsons, stuff from Nickelodeon, Doug, a little bit of Ren and Stimpy, among other stuff. Uh, Elf, Three Stooges, we would get, and I was able to see because of my aunt. So big thanks to her. So when I found out after watching the original trilogy and also destroying my Return of the Jedi tape from watching it countless times that there was going to be a prequel, I lost my mind. I felt spoiled just having access to a new Star Wars movie. I never destroyed a tape from watching it countless times. Probably the closest would have been Predator. Prior to the movie, I had some luck. My father worked for Pepsi as a truck driver back in the day. Very cool. I ended up getting some free Phantom Menace merch around the time leading up to Episode 1's release. I remember the hype behind it. I remember like the Pepsi, Mountain Dew, the cans. Yeah, they collect all the cans because they had like different faces. This one had Obi-Wan, this had Qui-Gon, this had Jar Jar Binks, collect all the cans. Because you could argue that was the most hyped film of all time. You could make that argument that The Phantom Menace, if there's a film that could be labeled the most hyped, and I was there during it. I mean, I remember people talking about the chatter, it being on the news, people waiting in movie theaters lines. And you would really never see that type of thing. Well, I'm not talking about the stupid bullshit like Minecraft where people get in movie theaters and chicken jockeys, shove a chicken up your ass and bake it. KFC style, motherfuckers. But like huge, like nationwide hype. Really, like the Phantom Menace was the deal, the real deal. I ended up taking an R2-D2 sized cooler to my house. It would have been nice if my dad ended up keeping it, sadly threw it away. R2-D2 cooler? My grandmother, for some reason, hoarded those limited edition Pepsi cans in her basement as a result of my dad working for Pepsi. I don't even talk to my grandmother anymore as she is a terrible person. Eeh. But the moment I wanted to take a few cans home, she would lose her shit. She had pallets and she wanted more. Well, you sneaked in, steal them, and she would never fucking know. She's an old lady. What's she gonna do? She's not gonna put up much of a fight. You just... What was that? You tripped on your tit. You steal them, and then... Hey, it was the raccoons from Great Outdoors. They stole your shit. If I were to summarize all three prequel from my perspective in one word, it would be electric. No, it's a ballsy claim. I don't think many movies in the past 20 years can have the same level of hype that the prequels had. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah. I would say exceptions would be Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter movies. I enjoyed those too, but I had such a deeper connection to Star Wars it felt personal when people later in life were trashing the prequels. My dad always took me out of school to see these movies, and I vividly remember crowds cheering for the title crawl. When I went to the theater, I never really experienced those type of reactions. And that's the thing. Like, I know, like, I see in movies and I see, like, news clips and now stuff on YouTube. Like, people are like, yeah. I never really got to experience theaters showcasing that amount of energy. Seems like anytime I went to a movie, even 2003... when I went to like a movie every other week, and I saw Hulk, Bad Boys 2, Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I saw a lot of films in 2003 in the theater, and some in 2004. Never really get much reaction. I guess it was fine because, well, I had, okay, that's not fair. Well, that's not true, I should say. When I watched Bulletproof Monk, which granted was a piece of shit film, I had two bitches in front going, and early on there's like there's a guy who Chow Yun-fat knows who dies. And these two bitches like, he died. I wanted them to shut. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna put my dick in your mouth and make you shut up. I didn't say that because I wouldn't say that. especially in the theater, because I don't want to be kicked out because they're stupid ass. But I'm like, is nobody hearing this? Like, hey, fucking. I mean, granted, the movie sucked, so maybe that's why I let it go. Because even earlier on, I'm like, nah, I don't know about this. So them talking was annoying, but if it was for a good movie, I would have been more pissed. But it was a shitty movie. So there was that one. God, I mean, I guess maybe Friday the 13th remake, the reboot, was the closest I would actually get people like interacting and you know that was the closest. That was probably the one time, the 2009 Friday the 13th film where people reacted. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun to be here for. That one was the closest. So I've never heard such a roar so loud in one room. It was immense. Revenge of the Sith was probably the freshest experience in my mind. I will shamefully admit to being bratty at my baseball game when I was 12. Opening day for Revenge of the Sith just happened to be during a game I didn't want to play. The moment it was over, I had to rush to the nearest movie theater. Barely made the tower crawl. My dad was a little mad at me, but I valued the tradition of seeing these on opening day as they were released over a sport I didn't like. That's okay, I don't like baseball either. But that's cool. That's very cool. You had a ritual with your dad. You want to keep the ritual with your dad. Very cool. Very special. I have nothing of that nature because my dad was an alcoholic prick who beat the shit out of my mom and all that. So, left my mom when I was in middle school. So I didn't experience any of that stuff. Like a dad figure. And I just say that because it's just the truth. Just a bit honesty. So that's very cool. Though. It's very cool that you got to experience stuff like that. Very nice. As with Polar Express, it's more straightforward. I have no love for the movie. It has not held up well. I find it just as annoying. Every Christmas is the same vein as A Christmas Story. I can see that. And wow, another person who doesn't like A Christmas Story like I do. Very cool. We got a connection there. I only ended up seeing this in 2004 because after the Red Sox won the World Series, there's this place in Reading, Massachusetts called Jordan's Furniture. It has an IMAX attached to a complex of furniture and appliances. There's also other chains behind it. It was one of the largest retail outlets from where I am from. So the Sox winning the World Series meant a lot to the owner of Jordan's Furniture. They had huge discounts and we ended up going to take advantage of it. Well, there you go. Hey, once in a lifetime opportunity, it seemed. Well, I think the Sox have won again in the future, I believe. I could be wrong with that. The movie ends and I return home with my family. This was peak freezing temperatures in my hometown. My house at the time was some old 70s rancher home. We returned to our house with frozen pipes that eventually burst. Jesus. I would not even want to think on how the hell that would be like. I remember the ceiling falling down. There was inches of water all over every floor of my house. My mother crying outside on the phone, and my uncle, my father, and I trying to save laundry, the disgusting mildew smell, and no electricity in my house. So if we didn't see this movie, there might have been a chance to minimize some damage. We were temporarily homeless. My family and I moved to a hotel for 11 months. My uncle was a carpenter. Him and his business friends flipped the entire house, and everything was new from the inside out at the time. God, I can't imagine. I mean, living in a motel for 11 months. Or hotel. Because you gotta think it's a hotel room with you, your mom, your dad. There wouldn't be any privacy because it's the same room. So I would imagine like there's one TV, so you probably have to share it. How expensive would that be though to live almost a year at a hotel? I guess I should ask Mark, how expensive would that have been? To live in a whole... I mean, I think there's a deal you could do with hotels. Like for people that are there for work and it's like a couple months, like they make a deal. So it's like a temporary housing. I've heard there are people that actually do live at hotels. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard of people that they actually do live in hotels. I guess if you had the money and you're able to, it may be fine because, you don't have to worry about the AC, electricity, the plumbing, housekeeping. I would think would probably go in each day to clean stuff, maybe, all the other stuff. But damn, fucking Polar Express. Not only is it not that driven movie, it ruins lives. Fucking Tom Hanks. Meet the Spartans was more embarrassing than fun. I had the displeasure of having half of my high school class occupy the theater. I did hang out with some dipshits back then I called friends. One of them caused a verbal argument in the theater, led to me having some bad experiences the following week in school. I don't remember the whole thing. I do remember the cringe from both the movie's shit jokes and the immature behavior among all my classmates. Well, if they enjoyed the film, then that shows how stupid they are, because that movie sucks. And, I mean, I can, maybe not to that extent, but I kind of had that experience. Because, okay, there's more to, well, I'll go to the last paragraph. In closing, I hope we can do more stuff like this with your viewers. I personally don't think newer movies carry memories anymore. In this age of streaming, I don't think movie theaters are going to have a relevance on others like they once did for me. I know this is trivial to many, but all of my positive and negative theater experiences were at least poignant and easy to remember. No, this is cool. I like it. It's different. It's, a nice change of pace. I loved hearing about the Star Wars prequels story because I could just from the words I could tell there's a lot of joyful experience you had with your dad that made those moments special, and I just feel the love in there. And then the Polar Express is the total 180, where you just feel the pain of just not only is it not that great of a movie, but then homelessness for almost a year. I mean, goddamn. Poignant and easy to remember. Yeah. With me and theater experiences, if I go through my entire life, when I was a kid, we lived so far away we rarely went to the theater unless it was a very special occasion. So, like, my birthday was around Die Hard with a Vengeance when that came out. So I think we saw that in the theater. But very rarely will we get to the theater. I think Scooby-Doo, the first one when that came out, I think went to the theater for that because I'm such a Scooby-Doo mark. And I'm like, oh wow, it's a movie. So, and I did like it for what it was. I have issues with it, but I did like the first Scooby-Doo movie for what it was. But sadly, a lot of those older films I never got to see in theater because again, it was just too far away. Just too far away. For school, for a class trip, it's like once a year type of thing. Sometimes they would go, let's go to the theater, the movie theater. And I think one year it was the Mothman Prophecies, which I was liking the film, but the people in class would not shut the fuck up and they kept moaning, groaning, making fun of it. And I couldn't enjoy the film that much because they wouldn't shut the fuck up. It was annoying as hell. And I remember like two more movies. One was Saving Silverman, which I enjoy that film. It was weird that we got to see that. I guess technically it was PG-13, so that's why. But it's weird that, Jack, actually one of the better Jack Black movies, honestly. And then one was it Orange County? But I remember like it was like another movie, and I fucked it, and I went to this one where the teachers were at. I said, fuck it, I'll just sit here with these because they're less annoying. I remember something about the film Orange County, another Jack Black film, funny enough. Because the people at my school, they didn't give a shit about movies unless Adam Sandler or Jack Black was in it. They probably would like I don't know, they probably like the fucking Minecraft movie. I know, I'm not saying for every class member, but I'm just saying for a chunk of them. I didn't have a good time at school because of the stuff going on at home. And then, like, at school, like, I want to talk about movies because they're my passion. No one gave a shit about movies. There was one guy named Jason, he didn't, little bit, but didn't give much time to chat with him. But the people they didn't give a shit about. I remember one point bringing up, oh, they're doing a Tremors 2. They didn't give a shit. Oh, yeah, what's next? Tremors 3? Hey, yeah, there's a Tremors 4, and there's a Tremors 5. I'm like, you must be psychic, because there's like fucking 7 of those movies. And a TV show. And a pilot for a show that didn't get picked up. So, fuckers. But yeah, there was just so... oh, this is Adam Sandler, new one. And... oh, and then the Star Wars prequels. Did see them in the theater as well. The Phantom Menace, because it was such a big deal. Godzilla 1998, I did see that in the theater. I saw it with, I think, my brother, and there was this guy that would set up this play, or was part of this play, Hansel and Gretel, where it was my only time doing a play as a younger, and I fucking hated it, because I'm like the dad, and I hated memorizing lines, because I wanted to be more free-flowing. So that's why I'm like, I could never be an actor, because I would hate having to stick to lines. I would want to make up shit I want to say. And then my performance was so good, the only thing people would say is, I love your beard. Does that like a beard? Like, I love your beard. So, if that's the best they can say, I'm like, yeah, acting ain't for me. But yeah, we went to see, and they didn't like it, but I was, 83, 93... 15 years old. So it hit the sweet spot for me. So I like Godzilla. Jeepers Creepers 1, I think I saw in the theater. I think I was with my cousins and, hey, let's go see a horror movie. I remember not knowing who Victor Salva was, so I was not minding the film, although I hated the ending. Trying to think what other movies I saw in theater. Again, not a whole lot. The Fifth Element, I think I saw in the theater. Again, especially, hey, it's a big sci-fi movie, yeah. That might have been it. If there's others, I can't remember them. Until 2003. Where it's after high school, went from Iowa to Texas, and then lived right pretty near a movie theater. Like, you just take the bus and get there in quick enough time. So I would go like every other week, and I saw a ton of movies in the theater in 2003. I've talked about before, but like if I look up a list, 2003. If I could find my fucking cursor on here. 2003 in film. I could tell you the films I saw in theater. Granted, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience other than I did Bulletproof Monk I mentioned. But like Kangaroo Jack, I saw in the theater, and honestly, that helped me psychologically. As stupid as that sounds, but Kangaroo Jack did help me because that was a time when I was in a very dark place in my life. In here, because it was after high school, I did not know what I wanted to do in my life. I moved with my family to Texas because I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I wanted to move to help out. I was not in a good space of mind during that time, and I had a lot of dark thoughts. A lot of dark thoughts. And went to the theater. I saw this goofy, stupid movie called Kangaroo Jack, which I don't know if I have the DVD around here. And you know what? It helped. Because I'm like, oh, I like Jerry O'Connell. I like Anthony Anderson. I like that this is like a Bruckheimer action film. Because Bruckheimer produced it. Because, come to find out later, it was meant to be this R-rated comedy where the kangaroo was only in a teeny bit. But because a film like Snow Dogs or whatever the hell was a hit, they're like, oh, we'll turn this in PG-13. Make it, add in more stuff of the kangaroo and put all the advertising behind it. So while it doesn't really, the advertising doesn't really, it's not really truthful in what the movie is, I still had dumb fun with the movie. And that's what I needed. I needed a dumb, silly, goofy movie with two leads that I liked in a movie about friendship and how they were truly friends and they help each other out and was sweet. And I like Jerry O'Connell. I like Jerry O'Connell ever since I saw him in Sliders and other stuff. I like Jerry O'Connell, so. National Security I saw in the theater, didn't much care for it. Darkness Falls I saw in the theater, I did like that one. Final Destination 2 I saw in the theater, I remember seeing that opening on the big screen with the log. And like that was such an insane scene. I remember going, oh shit, in the theater. Shanghai Nights I saw in the theater, didn't mind it. Daredevil I saw in the theater, quite liked the film. Dark Blue I saw in the theater, thought Kurt Russell gave a good performance. Cradle to the Grave I saw in the theater, had a fun time. I saw Tears of the Sun in the theater and I liked it. The Hunted I saw in the theater, quite enjoyed it. Willard I saw in the theater, and what was weird about that is I swear it was like the first or second weekend. Maybe it was the second weekend. Probably the second because I saw The Hunted. So I probably would have waited a week to see Willard. And it was already like at the part of the theater that I was ready to head out already. I don't know if Ron Turn was this year, but I do remember seeing Ron Turn 1 in the theater. Dreamcatcher I saw in the theater. I remember being so fucking pissed off with that movie. I'm like, this film fucking sucks. Basic I saw in the theater. I thought that was a good John McTiernan film. The Core, Phone Booth, Anger Management, House of a Thousand Corpses, Bulletproof Monk, which I told about, Malibu's Most Wanted, Identity, because I swear every one of those other movies I mentioned had the fucking trailer for Identity. To the point I got so sick and tired. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to see this movie since I saw it advertised like 20 times. And I hated it. X-Men 2, Daddy Daycare, Matrix Reloaded. Matrix Reloaded I saw twice in the theater. I enjoyed it. Same with Bad Boys 2. I saw that twice in the theater. Bruce Almighty, Finding Nemo, Italian Job, Wrong Turn, Too Fast, Too Furious. Dumb and Dumberer I saw in the theater. I actually liked the film. Hollywood Homicide I saw in the theater. Hulk. Terminator 3. Pirates of the Caribbean. Lady of Extraordinary Gentlemen. The Cradle of Life. That's the only movie I saw in the theater where I fucking fell asleep. I shit you not. I'm watching The Cradle of Life, Terminator 2, and it got to a point where she's like, I don't know, she's in the city, and she's like on a motorcycle, or there's a chopper or something, and I literally went, I fucking dozed off, and I don't know how much I missed, but I fucking dozed. That's the only film in the theater I've ever fell asleep at. I hate that movie. Spy Kids 3, which actually I have a commentary I need to do for that. I saw that because, oh, it's 3D. I haven't seen a 3D movie in the theater. And of course, that'd be the fucking one. SWAT. Freddy vs. Jason was a fun time. That was a fun theater experience in terms of, like Friday the 13th, that was another one where it felt like the people were a bit more into it and reacting. Jeepers Creepers 2 I saw in the theater. Cabin Fever, yes. I actually did see Eli Roth's Cabin Fever in the theater. Because I'm like, hey, it's a horror movie, see in the theater. Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Cold Creek Manor, which goddamn, I remember that being disappointing. I think I did see it in the theater. Because I thought the trailer made it seem like it was a horror movie. And oh, Dennis Quaid? I like Dennis Quaid. Steven Dorff? Cool, he was in Blade. The Date. But that film fucking sucks. Underworld. Rather play with my underwear than watch Underworld again. The Rundown. House of the Dead. It's funny, I see fucking House of the Dead in the theater. Didn't get to see all those classic films back to the day in the theater, but you get to see House of the Dead in the theater. Kill Bill Volume 1. The Chainsaw Massacre remake, which I saw in the theater, I liked it. Scary Movie 3. Matrix Revolutions. I guess at that time I kind of stopped going to the theater because, yeah, a lot of these I did not see in the theater anymore. I can't remember what had happened during that time. Because, like, I did see, like, in 2004... The Butterfly Effect. I think I saw Secret Window, Dawn of the Dead remake, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think I saw Hellboy in the theater. Kill Bill Volume 2. The Punisher I saw in the theater. Enjoyed it ever since. Van Helsing. Saw that in the theater. Chronicles of Riddick, which, man, that movie did not fucking hold up. And yeah, Spider-Man 2 I think I saw in the theater. Collateral was a great experience because I knew nothing about that film when I went in. That was a blind. I had never even seen a trailer to the film. I'm like, okay, I'm at the theater. What do we have here? Oh, Claro. Okay, Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise. And then saw it, and man, that was cinema for me. Seeing that completely blind, I'm like, wow, the way it's shot, and the story, and like the way Tom Cruise portrays the character, and how the tension rises, and Jamie Foxx. You see him growing his backbone as a character. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Then the next film I fucking saw in the theater was AVP. Fuck. Suspect Zero I saw in the theater. I liked it. Cellular I think I did. I think I saw The Forgotten in the theater for some reason. I might have seen Seed of Chucky in the... I don't know if I saw Seed of Chucky in the theater. I hope I didn't. But yeah. Just to give a little bit of experience on that. But I mean, the films you mentioned, I mean, Star Wars prequels, I could deal with The Phantom Menace. I'm not big on the other two nowadays. That's just me. Polar Express, I'm not... I didn't hate it, but I'm not, Meet the Spartans is an absolute piece of shit. And, yeah, there you go. So this was fun. This was fun to partake in something a bit different. I mean, to be honest, I don't get much views on videos anyway, so who knows how many people will watch this. But if you did, thank you. Mark, thank you so much for your kindness, your generosity. This was a lot of fun to do this. And that's kind of how I looked at it. When I did a paid request, I'm kind of just talking to the person who requested it, honestly. That's the only person I assume will watch the video. And, sometimes that's all you need. So thank you, Mark. This is, again, fun to go through your memory lane as well as my memory lane. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.